Good morning. Happy Monday, everyone. We're going to continue talking today about our Earth's surface being changed by a couple different processes. Those would be weathering, erosion, and deposition. So last week we were looking a little bit more at weathering, and that is the actual breaking down of the rock or the sediment into smaller pieces. Now, a lot of times, like I said in one of the videos last week, erosion and weathering a lot of times get kind of interchanged, even though they aren't the same thing, because oftentimes as it's weathering, as it's breaking into a smaller piece, it also is moving kind of at the same exact time or just slightly after. So a lot of times you'll even hear people who are professional scientists interchange them kind of, and they'll just use the word erosion a lot of times and say that mountain or that cliff eroded away, when reality is it weathered first and then it eroded, but you will hear that often. So erosion is the actual movement of the sediment. So anytime it's moving, whether it's from gravity, whether it's from wind, whether it's from water, whatever the case may be, if the sediment is actually moving, then it's erosion. So erosion is all about getting that stuff to travel, whether it travels hundreds of miles or millimeters, it's still erosion. So we can see here in this picture, we have this dune. Not quite a beach dune. This is more like a desert dune, but it does kind of show somewhat that dunes don't just form at beaches. They also are other places as well. But you can see that the wind is carrying this sediment away from the dune. And we'll look at dunes later on this week, but dunes actually migrate, or they move usually in a similar direction. And you can see that this sediment is going to end up getting dropped eventually down here. And over time, this whole dune will start to form more here. All right, so that'd be wind erosion. Typically smaller particles, sand, drier particles, things that don't have any soil or trees growing in them, it's going to have a lot more wind erosion. Kind of like if you've ever been to the beach before on a windy day, when you're walking through the parking lot, everything's fine, and as soon as you get onto the actual sand, that wind just kind of whips that sand right at you, and you definitely feel it when it's hitting your legs. So they can do the same thing to rocks over long periods of time, and even just other pieces of sand. So here we have a picture of the Mississippi River Delta. So here, if you look at it, you can see all of this area and these areas here. This isn't land. Well, this little part, lake and stuff here is, but this is basically sediment that's being dropped off by the Mississippi River. So over time, it's bringing all this soil that used to be around here, it's bringing it and it's dropping it all out here. So it's eroding it from inland and bringing it out into the water. This is how things like deltas form. But it all is a matter of this material weathered up here, and it's been eroded down to this area. So you can actually see it in the water from an aerial view, how cloudy, how much sediment actually is in that water. So erosion is definitely an important process to get all of this sediment moved around and make new landforms and landscapes and things like that. Hey guys, I'm going to go over what you're working on for the assignment today, just in case any of you have forgot how to access the BrainPop. So to go to BrainPop, you go to brainpop.com. And when you log in, you use the same password and username we've been using, which is username Duncan Fletcher. I always leave out the C. Thanks. And the password is BrainPop. All right, so once you're on here, last week we were looking at erosion. Sorry, we were looking at weathering, and that is when you have large rocks or even small sediment when they get broken down into smaller pieces. We're going to be looking at another process that usually works hand in hand with weathering, and that is erosion. So click on the erosion video, and you're going to watch. It's only 1 minute and 57 seconds long, so it's not a very long video, but today we're not doing the quiz, we're doing the challenge. So when you're done watching the video, you'll go to the challenge, and you're going to do the graded challenge, and you're going to answer these questions the best you can. So the first one, things like which of the following are most likely to cause erosion? So look at these options. Which ones of these are most likely to actually move sediment from one place to another? So you're going to click those ones and then move on from there. So I know at least tides does. There's more than that. And then you're going to keep on going. And then here you're going to drag which ones go where. So this to me definitely has a coastal look to it. So I'll put them in the order they go and keep going. Here there's going to be 2 boxes in each one. So we know that both of them occur over long periods of time, and then you'll fill in, there'll be 2 in the erosion, 2 in the both, and 2 in the weathering. And finally, this last one is a little difficult. I will say that it is a little bit, you probably have to try it a few times, make sure you get them right. But it says order the biome, so these different areas where things live, and kind of like climate zones, from least to most vulnerable to wind erosion. So out of all of these, the one that's the most vulnerable to wind erosion, I'm going to go ahead and say is a desert, because all that sediment is exposed and there's lots of wind. I'm going to put that there. And then I'll finish when I'm done putting all of them, and it'll give me my score. So you obviously don't want to have a score of 4 out of 18. You're going to want to see 18 out of 18 when you're done. So I did it a moment ago so I could show you. So once you get this score, you will copy it or use the snipping tool or print screen or any way that you do a screenshot on whatever device you have. So if you have a different computer that doesn't have the PRT SC button for print screen, if you ask me, I'll look it up for you. But also if you just Google whatever type of computer you're using and how to take a screenshot on it, usually they're pretty simple. They're all just slightly different. So once you're done with that, you will take a screenshot of this and attach it to the document and the assignment and turn it in. And have a great day. See you guys.